Nnamdi Asomugha, welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
Thank you for having me.
The last time I saw you was in person in the studio. I have not seen you since. I would see you sometimes at events. You would be the arm candy on your wife, Kerry Washington's arm. How are you coping with this pandemic?
Yeah, the events that I would see you at, I would go as the support more than I can be. So I'm always the support at those events. But we're doing fine. It's a year into it now, almost. So the new normal is in. I think we're sort of rolling with the punches at this point.
Right. I feel like though everyone's finding their few, just moments of joy. Like I know I do that. I wait for sporting events, I wait for special events, I wait for a movie to be released. That's why I get so excited whenever a new movie comes out because we don't get to watch movies anymore. We don't get to go and have dinner. We don't get to live as much life. And so before we get into your movie that's on Amazon Prime, which is getting rave reviews, I wanted to talk to you about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going Tom Brady up against Patrick Mahomes. It's like the young versus the old, like the one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, up against a future greatest possibly. Where's your money?
Oh, well, that's the question that you.
Yeah, I want to make it interesting.
I thought we were going into strategy and like.
No, man, I just want to know where's your money first. Where's your money?
I mean, I don't know how at age 43 you could ever bet against Tom at this point. It's like every time, I mean, there's always a point midway through the season where every single person that's talking about Tom Brady says he's done. I
Yeah.
mean, I think for the last 10 years, that's always happened. And then he ends up in a Super Bowl at the end. So I don't know how you bet against him.
Let's talk about your second career though. Not many people can, I think, move as effortlessly as you have from the world of sports at the highest level to the world of acting at the highest level. On Broadway, people were blown away by your performance. And then when you moved in front of the camera, people were amazed at how you just seemed to effortlessly move, from one script to the next, from one role to the next. Sylvie's Love is no different. You star opposite Tessa Thompson in a love story for the ages, in a time where we're not used to seeing black leads together. When it's not a story about like oppression or slavery or civil rights. It's a story about love. What do you think has been the biggest reason for your success in this world? How have you managed to be that vulnerable coming from like the NFL?
Um, Thank you for all of that, and thank you for calling it success because in my head it's just always work. So you never really know where you are. You just know that you have to keep going. But I don't know. I think I've realized that I'm a risk taker. Um, and I say realize because I just happen to love things that I'm not going into it saying I can't wait to take this risk. I just happen to love things that require me to take a risk in order to achieve them. But I don't know. I think it's important to have no idea what you're doing and just go for it anyway. A lot of times in life, I think there's a beauty in that level of risk. I think at the end of the day, you're either going to succeed or you're going to grow, and I think both of those are a win. So why not
Right.
just go after it? And so that's what I've done, and luckily, it's been working out, and I've been able to sort of build from that.
It seems like in some ways your character has some of those traits, because you play a character who's a jazz saxophonist who's coming up, trying to get his career off the ground. You've got this woman who adores you and loves you and encourages you to be more, but she's doing her thing as well. It feels in many ways like there's slithers of your life in this, and at the same time you're playing a completely foreign and different character. First of all, is it true that you spent a year learning how to play the saxophone before this role?
I did, yeah, I did. I mean, we had time. We took the script around town, and we got passed on so often. But from the
Right.
time that we took it around, it was about a year and a half or so before we actually shot. I didn't know if that first group was going to say yes, so I needed to start playing the saxophone so I could learn. They said no, and it took a year and a half or so, but I just continued playing because that you never really know what that moment is going to be when someone's going to say yes. Uh,
Right.
will make your movie. So I just kept playing and playing. I fell in love with it and fell in love with it. And I was able to then step on set and really, not only play, but have fingering and everything down just so that it could be real.
Was there a point when you wondered if you now are just playing the saxophone for no reason? Because I mean, there's no guarantee that a script will get picked up. There's no guarantee that a movie will get made. So now there you are, just like in the house. And at some point, people are like, "Oh, you play the saxophone?" In the beginning, you're like, "Yes, it's for my movie." And then a few months later, you're like, "Yes, it's for my movie." At some point, you're just like, "Yeah, I just play the saxophone." Was there a point when you thought, "Okay, this is just me now"?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went through that. I mean, in my house too, because like the first week, it's like, wow, the saxophone, and everyone wants to sort of hear. And then, I mean, after like 3 weeks of playing, it's just like this annoying thing that's in the house. And it's like, when is this going to happen? And then a year later, it still hasn't happened. So yeah, there was a little bit of that. And I also would travel with the saxophone wherever we went.
Oh man.
This was a time when you could get on planes and travel, and so we would go to different places, and the saxophone would follow me, and that would be annoying to people as well. But I became a saxophone player.
My final question to you: if you had a magic lamp, a genie was going to grant you one wish, would you wish for an Oscar or would you wish for a Super Bowl title?
You know what? I would say a Super Bowl title. Here's why: because I don't have a chance at that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's people ask me all the time, like, do you miss the game and do you miss it? I think when I first left, I would say no, 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 and now it's like I miss it to the 10th degree, because all I can think about are the missed opportunities. It's like I didn't get to win the Super Bowl. I didn't get to play in the Super Bowl. That's the dream. That's why you want to play it. That's why you play the game. And so I think I would go with that. You always want what you can no longer have, I think. So I think that'd be the answer.
Okay, my wish, if I had it, would be for everyone to get the vaccine as quickly as possible. But I guess we both have different ideas in life, and that's what makes us different human beings. I wish for other people, but you can wish for a Super Bowl.
I want you to use that.
Yo, Nnamdi, man, thank you so much for joining me again, my dude. It was great seeing you.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate
Good
it.
luck, man, and congrats. The movie's amazing.
Thank you.